Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. I am here. The only reason I'm here is Silver hit the first target. So it's stop raise time. How is everyone doing? Good morning, Jake. If you're watching this on replay, because I said I wouldn't be here, well, I am here. It's not going to be a long one. Good morning, Patrick. Patrick had a feeling I might be here all along. Jake, recommendations for home solar panels living in Indianapolis. I know you had some in Chicago. Yeah, I used Rec. Look up REC True Black panels. They are very, very good. They have very good output and they look really good too. And then I used Enphase, uh, the 8 series of their microinverters. And that combination worked very well. I do like Enphase over SolarEdge. So, and I researched it for a long time. And I mean, we only had a year round, it was a $14 electric bill because you have to pay for your meter no matter what. So, year round, or no matter what it was in summer or winter, it was 14 bucks. So, that's where we sat with that. And after all the incentives, I think my whole setup cost me 5,000 total to power the whole house, but after incentives. So it was not a long break even time. Okay, just want to cover a couple things. Again, thank you for tuning in. If you are here, again, if you're in the background, please jump in the chat and say hi. Today, remember, the equities are closed. The futures are still technically open for another 25 minutes, but there's not really going on. The stocks aren't going to open. I'm mainly focused on a couple things with commodities that have really jumped out at me. Silver did hit the first target, which is why I'm here. We just had who was just Harker speaking. Harker and Collins are both speaking. Collins is not listed, but speaking right now. And Harker, again, it's what would I see? I forget which one it was. They're both pretty much saying the same thing, but they supported the rate cuts, but they're going to have to be patient moving forward and on a paced and measured. And this was all just scrolling by right when I started the live stream. So nothing earth shattering there. By the way, remember tomorrow we kick it off. The futures reopen at 6 p.m. Eastern. I always go out Central Time for futures, so it's 5 p.m. Central, just because of CME is located in Chicago. So they reopened this evening. So pay attention. But we got non-farm payrolls tomorrow. Do not ignore that. And then we have the preliminary numbers for consumer inflation expectations and sentiment. So that's where we sit. But this will be a sort of a important non-farm payrolls. Again, they're all important, but consensus is expected to drop pretty big and be below prior. And so we'll see if that comes up. We don't need to really review the heat maps or the groups. Still, we got 93% of the pause in January. Fear and greed still in fear for the stock market. Schiller PE based off yesterday 37.58. In terms of earnings, I didn't even look. There's nothing this morning. NTI. I don't know if any of these changed because of today's holiday, but if they didn't, I did not have time to research them all. We'll be glancing at KB Homes. Tomorrow morning, we got Tilray, Delta, and Walgreens Boots Alliance and Constellation Brands, but nothing that's going to be market moving. I will take a look at Delta, Constellation, and then just out of humor, Walgreens Boots, because they flushed that company down the toilet. Yesterday, pretty neutral, chopping back and forth day, coming back to very key area of support in the S&P. If non-farm payrolls comes in where we trigger a bullish move, 59.75 is going to be the very key level I'm watching, which is right around Wednesday's high. That's going to be a very key level. Otherwise, that is resistance. And the breakdown level is 59.15. In the NASDAQ, I'm bumping this level up just a hair. To about 21,445, 21,450, and the breakdown level is 21,160. And when I say breakdown level, unless it's violated, that's what I'll be looking for support. If we blast through there or we trade through there, retest it, and roll back over, then it becomes confirmed resistance. So when I look at these levels, initially this would be the upper level, this 21,450 area would be my key resistance level. Unless we move through it, then it becomes key support. The Dow, definitely in triple bottom territory, but in consolidation still. Daily cycles rolling over. All these have daily cycles starting to roll over. So this slightly favors the downside. But remember, on a weekly basis, we're still holding the rotation zone. So whatever you do tomorrow, watch the weekly for the close. All right. Just going through stuff real quick. Russell, you can see the triple bottom against the 200. So if you lose this 200 simple, where we had the key support back in September, and now it's 3 tests of support, if that goes and we still have the bearish double top pattern, we could really kiss the Russell goodbye for possibly a couple weeks. DAX, you still have your potential double top. Nothing else to talk about there. Yields are finally getting a little breather. We've had some divergences down here, so we could see some yield consolidations for a bit. I'm going to be watching how it reacts to the rotation zone and is trading up against pretty soon the prior breakdown area. So we'll be watching to see, but we're at cycle bottom, so we could see yields take a pause. Because remember, they also hit the 87.5. This is the micro yields. That was before it was the 10-note futures. Now this is the micro yields. We hit that key target. We had the cluster of 4.726, 4.701 to 4.726. We spiked up in there to a high of 4.727, and we've moved back. Now, am I watching for a massive pullback in yields? No, I'm watching for more of a consolidation again. Micro yields at the top of the daily and overbought and at the top of the weekly. So could we even see a pullback to like 4.5? Yeah, you could over the next little bit. Or we could just consolidate, move sideways above 4.6. Either way, I'm watching for a little pause in there. What's interesting, with the dollar still in double top territory, but there's been the major resistance is right about this 109 area. So it's going to be interesting also with cycles trying to turn up, but weekly cycles at the top. So could we get some kind of pause in the next little bit on the dollar? Yes. And it would be in trailing mode only. Now the pullback would trigger if we triggered this double top. Crude coming here, closing right at the key level and dipping in. So this is a confirmed but double, but not really triggered. So going to still be watching that if that rolls over. But if you look at this, let's get to some other key things. Gold, breaking out of the corrective channel. Remember, we hit the double bottom target, and then we pulled back. Now we're at the 50% harmonic. The key thing I'm watching, we do have cycles at the top, so we could still pause in here or even pull back again off the 50% harmonic. But if we do get that close above 27.30, we could be off to the races again. That's what I'm watching for. Silver is the real reason I'm doing this. It's now for the stop raise. So in the double, we had selling pressure 3 days in a row, and we just hit the first target. So at a bare minimum, this would be moving up a stop, and the farthest away stop, because this is what would invalidate the pattern, is a close below 29.94. Would I personally leave a stop that far away? No, because we've had selling pressure here. Okay, but it's definitely raise a stop, if not raise a stop and take something off the table, depending on your initial reward to risk. Copper's very interesting. Look at this. Copper's gone on a massive 5-day tear. Now, it is overbought against prior resistance and a key breakdown area. So I'm watching for at least some kind of pause or pullback, but this is fascinating that you have the metals all on a tear. You have crude still hanging in there. All this stuff could be inflationary. Now, we have Bitcoin, another reason, because technically, here's one of the times that the 62.5 did not work. We closed above the 62.5. I was expecting us to retest the high area, and we had an outside key reversal day and followed through with no buying. We're at very key support. If you look here, if we break down, just based off the prior next support level and the harmonics, this is the level. If we start to break below 91,900, then I'm starting to target the 87,500 area 87,400, 87,500. We lose 87,400 to 5. We could easily return into a clear path move down to about 73,550, which would reconnect it with the 200 simple. So I'm paying very close attention. We have not broken key support. We're testing it today. I'm going to be very interested to see how Bitcoin reacts tomorrow. All right, so that's Bitcoin's on my radar screen. The metals are on my radar screen. Crude is still on my radar screen. Copper, I'm watching for at least a consolidation. Back to copper real quick. If we consolidate up here and can hold, this will be very interesting. Because now we're getting across the rotation zone. So any pullback, I'll be seeing how. This is where I'll be watching for the secondary reaction. So this is the primary reaction. So I'll be looking for the secondary reaction in copper on any pullback. Because technically we still have the magnet price of 3.92. That's why I'm so interested in this. So that's where we sit there. I don't think there's, RSP, the equal weighted ETF for the stocks, triple bottom. Double bottom, which never confirmed or triggers, off the table. All these slightly favor lower prices. Now, triple bottoms are only, depending on what you're trading, 51 to 52% for lower prices to 40. So there's not a huge advantage. It's why I don't trade them. But I make note of them when we invalidate doubles. And NDXE still has the potential double bottom in it. It still does. Why? Because we did not close below the 62.5 yesterday or trade below 75%. So this still technically is a setup, although it could be invalidated tomorrow. All right. That's where we sit. Again, stocks closing isn't copper the leader, so if it continues, we could see ES continue. I'm thinking they're decoupling. Now, I got to trade the patterns, but ES still is in multiple bottom territory. And I'm thinking the metals, because we also have ags that have been bullish. We're getting some inflationary stuff coming in. I covered live cattle the other day. We're getting inflationary pressures coming in left and right in core components, which is not necessarily strong for the S&P. Do you have any home batteries or backup generator storage? I had a backup generator because it was much more cost effective. The storage capacity, the generator cost me under 10K to put in, Jake, and the batteries would have cost me 25K for less performance. Okay, so that's why I went with generator. Once the batteries come in line at some point, like out here in Arizona now, if I put up solar again, because you have to put up batteries here because they screw you over when you essentially sell your excess capacity solar back to them at wholesale rates. And then when you need it, they charge you retail rates. So it's the only way to do solar in Arizona is to put in a battery system because you want to store the electricity for when you need it, because so that you don't pay the retail rates. More so than even doing the backup. But if you're looking for backup, I would compare the cost to do a generator. I did a whole home generator, which means I did not have to turn anything off. I did a whole home generator for under 10K. Do not do it when there's natural disaster times. Wait till everything's slow and everything's calm and everything's hunky-dory. I mean, don't try to put in a generator during hurricane season, no matter where you are, because they charge a premium. But I price out both options, and for me, the generator was better. All right, with that, I don't need to hold anybody up. Thank you for tuning in. I will see everyone back tomorrow at normal time. And remember, non-farm payrolls tomorrow, so keep an eye out for that because that's critical going into the next Fed meeting, which they're favoring a pause. I now have to go back and review the comments from Harker and Collins to see if they said anything interesting. I will talk to everyone later. Bye for now.